I mean, if the hate is the overriding emotion, then what you need to be focused on is the game that's in front of you, not your hatred for the fella. Absolutely. Because he lives in a fucking different postcode.
You run past him, all you're thinking, I've beat him.
Yeah.
There might be another fella to beat in front of you.
Precisely. Yeah. And people can... And I see it again, and I remember, I'd be in dressing rooms going, they fucking hate you, lads. You'd be trying to rile lads up, but I suppose in hindsight...
Nowadays, I think it's more about getting your performance right.
Yeah.
Rather than the big rile up, that it's a case of making sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. And there will be elements of...
skullduggery as well.
Yeah. But... keep it as level a keel as you can, because you don't want fellas getting carried away.
Hello and welcome to Conversations with Cornelius. I'm a comedian. This podcast is about my life, my wife, my likes and dislikes, hurling, football, movies, sex, drugs and rock and roll without the sex, drugs and rock and roll. There are going to be special guests and always regular contributors, but mostly it's going to be me and my main squeeze, the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and I am in the Fearless Digital Network studios in an undisclosed venue in Cork. You couldn't find us if you tried. It's that underground. All right, so let's stop talking about that now, okay? What's the crack with you? I hope you're well. There's lots of good news this week now, I have to say, right? A little bit of bad news, a lot of good news. We were looking at the reviews on the podcast there a couple of weeks ago, and they've been off the charts, lads. They've absolutely been off the charts. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who has taken the time to, when they've listened to this podcast, to sit down and type out something lovely with words. It really is absolutely fantastic. The podcast is flying. We're getting close to 100,000 streams now, which is incredible. We're not even a year on the go, so that's just fucking amazing. And thank you for you, the listener, and all that kind of carry on, for continuing to support and watch and engage with the reels. It's genuinely an earnest thank you from me and all the team here. Fair play to you. Now, what else was I going to say? I have a Patreon. So, do you know what I mean? Why don't you just fucking sign up to that instead of writing your stupid little notes on Spotify? Do you know what I mean? Cash is king. €5 and you get an episode every single week. But please continue with the nice messages as well, because that makes us happy as well. What's going on? Oh yeah, the bad news, I suppose, is I was in Dublin last weekend. I was at the All-Ireland quarter-final, Cork and Mayo, and it was double header with the Kerry boys, and we didn't get over the line. Unfortunately, I was talking about it. I had Colm on the podcast here last week, and we were hopeful. We were very, very hopeful, and we were kind of, given reasons why we could get over the line. But I think genuinely, from being at it, and I was at an awful lot of Cork football matches this year, I think trepidation was our enemy on Saturday last. We had chances, and the ball didn't go our way at times. It hopped left when you should have been hopping right, and too many wides and a little bit of nerves. And I tell you this, Mayo had nerves as well, but they just coped with them that little bit better. And yeah, it was a sad way to go, but a very, very positive year all in all for the Cork footballers, because we are after getting promoted to Division 1. We played at the business end of the All-Ireland, and we were there twice this year. We were in the league final as well. So, and McGrath Cup, as my son always says to me, don't forget about the McGrath Cup, come on. You can't forget about the McGrath Cup. That's what he was trying to console me after Kerry hammered us in the Munster final with the McGrath Cup. But we still had it. I would say to watch the second match then, the Kerry and Tyrone game, and that was a ding-dong battle. Fucking unbelievable battle altogether. And Tyrone stuck with them the whole way through the game. They clung on. And Kerry would almost pull away. They'd be 2-3 trying to get that 4 point, and then bang, a 2-pointer from Tyrone. And they kept right in the game, right up until the very last minute, less than 60 seconds, and it was a kick out, and the ball went up, and there was 4 or 5 lads in green and gold and red and white jerseys trying to catch the ball, and it went all through like butter fucking through their fingers, and it bounced behind them all. And who ran onto it? Only King David Clifford, possibly the greatest Gaelic footballer that I have ever seen in my whole entire life, and I've seen a good few of them. And he caught the ball, and come at the hour, come at the man. He caught the ball and he just turned, and this is at the back end of the match now, lads, and he would have been being belted and fucking thrown around the place the whole game, and he sprinted past 2 Tyrone lads, right? Came up and it looked like he was going to go for a score, but another fella came out against him and he decelerated,
hopped, had the presence of mind to see a fella 30 yards out the field. The time is ticking. They're only up a point. Pings that ball into your man's hands. Then it's worked out to the side. Shawnee O'Shea, who's only just on, curls it down along the side. Clifford gets it again, knocks it into the corner forward, and he nearly gets decapitated by the goalkeeper, but somehow manages to connect the ball, and it rolls into the back of the net, and it was unbelievable. And I was devastated, absolutely devastated as a Cork man to see the Kerry fans jumping around the place like trout or salmon coming out of the Blackwater. All there isn't much salmon coming out of the Blackwater now after the poisoning last year. Oh, say nothing about that. Dublin, I was in Dublin with Harvey for the game. Lads, Dublin's like a petri dish now. It was so cool up there last weekend, right? So we parked in Wicklow Street, inside in a car park in Wicklow Street, and we walked on down, and there was an LGBTQ plus, I don't know if it was a celebration or a parade anyway, but it was all over the city. All the trans flags and the gay flags and the bisexual flags. I don't know if they have flags, the bisexuals. They should have. They should get on board with getting them if they don't have one. Alessio here in the background is nodding. I didn't know. Are you bisexual yourself, Alessio?
They do.
He I don't know if he understood. They do. All right. Well, look, he's not admitting to anything here, but he's saying that they definitely have a flag, and fair play to them. So then I stumbled. That was all over the place, and then I kind of got a wrong turn with Harvey. And I went back through O'Connell Street the wrong way, and then came into a far right parade. And they're right beside each other. And isn't Ireland an amazing country, right? They could not be fucking further apart, both those, ways of thinking. And they're both demonstrating in our main city, on the main street in our main city, peacefully. The guards now were there, then you want the guards around the place. There was plenty of guards. They looked very menacing on their bicycles. And I'm not being sarcastic. But do you know what I mean? It's great that we have a country where that can coexist. And then walking down through the middle of all, there was a couple of lads, there was Hare Krishnas there. There was a lad preaching about Jesus there on a microphone. It was fucking so weird. It was like New York City in the 1970s, right? And then coming down through that then were troves and troves and troves of green and gold jerseys, red and white Cork jerseys, white and red Tyrone jerseys, and the green and red of Mayo. Coming down there, eating their sandwiches and looking at the Lucasade and looking at all the fucking bisexuals and looking at all the fucking lads with the flags and going, Christ almighty, fucking hell above tonight, what's going on here? On the way up to St. John's Road. It was fucking beautiful. It was beautiful. But yeah, and we're back again there this weekend now. I got my tickets. I'm back again there this weekend. Myself and my small fella, we're heading back up on Saturday to the All-Ireland semi-final against Galway for the small ball, but we won't talk about that now because we might talk about that with today's guest, who I'm about to bring on anytime soon now. In fact, I'll probably just bring him on now, all right, because I've gone on for 7 minutes, and that's a long time to be just talking off the top of your head. Take a breath. All right, you ready? Here we go. This week on the podcast, I have a brand new guest. A few weeks ago, I hopped into my Yaris to spin back to a little place called Newtown Chandrum to buy some Hurleys for my boys and to pick up a new Hurley for myself. My wife came back and my 2 sons came back, and we went back to a famous Hurley maker back there called O'Connor Hurleys. All right. And I got chatting to the proprietor when I was back there. And this fella now is a former Cork minor and under 21 hurler, not to mention a serial winner at club level for counties. Cork, Munster, All-Ireland's in his back pocket, lads. Top of the range. Okay. But before I knew it anyway, the two of us were in a massive conversation, right? And then as we were talking, we weren't like, this fella's running a business. We were chatting away, and the next thing, a queue of customers started to queue behind him, trying to get in to get their Hurleys. I could have talked to this man all day, right? But obviously, he had to get back to work, and he gave us the Hurleys. We bought lovely Hurleys. I brought one with us here today. I'll show it to you there in a few minutes. And I was driving home, and I was just thinking to myself, fuck it, I would love to continue that conversation now. This fella seemed like an interesting character. And also a Hurley maker. You don't come across Hurley makers every day of the week, So I got in contact with him that night. I sent him or was it that night? Maybe it might have been a night or two afterwards. I can't remember exactly. But I got in contact with him anyway, and I asked him, would he like to pop onto the podcast for a proper chat, about GAA and fatherhood and his chosen career as a Hurley maker. And I'm delighted, absolutely thrilled, beyond belief that he agreed to do it. Because this would be something that wouldn't be in his normal day-to-day, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know what I mean? I get people on here in the entertainment industry. I get pundits on. I get lads that are commentating on RT Radio 1. So this is a little bit outside of this gentleman's comfort zone. But I know he's going to be absolutely fantastic because we had an unbelievable conversation just before this podcast even started. With that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome to the stash your friend and mine, Mr. John O'Connor. And the crowd go wild. How are things, John?
Good.
You're very welcome.
Great to be here in this secret location.
In this secret location. You'll have to delete that text now with the air code afterwards. Get a new phone, throw that into the bin. You're very welcome on the podcast. Thank you so much for agreeing to coming on.
Good to be here.
How are things with you?
Good. It is busy, the summertime, busy, but it's good.
Yeah. Any holidays planned?
No. I'd say it every day. I don't think I've ever been on a summer holiday that it's either been hurling myself or working. And I go away during the winter time. We were in Lanzarote in January. It's lovely. But my poor wife and children don't see summer holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, well, look, you got to put the money on the table, Johnny boy. It's as simple as that, you know. And you're also managing a club as well. You're managing a club in Limerick.
Granagh Ballingarry in the Premier Intermediate in Limerick. They're a good, solid. Anyone you talked about them, they'll say an honest bunch of lads, great honest bunch of lads. And when you're dealing with honest lads, you can't go wrong.
That's half the battle, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, when they say they'll do something, they'll do it.
Well,
within reason.
Within reason, yeah.
The manager's job, like you're coaching as well.
Yeah, I would regard myself as a coach. I prefer to be coaching on the field with players. But the way this just came about, it was either be the manager or be nothing. And I said, look, I'll reinvent this myself. So I took the manager's job and I didn't bring a coach. I just started coaching myself. Now, in fairness, I got great help from the guys within the club.
Yeah.
There's Graham Russell there. Does an awful lot of organising for me. So without that, it would be very hard.
How many selectors have you?
I have two official, but like I've
15
got,
unofficial.
Well,
there's
not, but I've got, say, my stats team now. I would do a lot of talking to them. My S&C coach, Jed McNamara, he's excellent. We talked to him a lot about it. What we do when we're picking a team, we myself and the two selectors will sit down and we'll go through our list and kind of get the other guys to stress test every position as we're going through it, and see, do we still think the same at the end of the process? And so
how do you deal with, we'll say, right, if you want Johnny Murphy to start 15 and the two selectors, the official selectors, say, fuck it, no, lad, Frank Moriarty is going great.
Yeah.
Like you have the final say, but like, do you know what I mean? Like it's championship, it's the White Heat.
Well, Frank Moriarty never plays well.
Yeah, championship.
No, in fairness, that we'd be talking about it all the time.
Yeah,
like it's not just you sit down and you're picking your team. Like we've a fair idea what the others are thinking, well in advance of sitting down. And as well, it's not often where there's a really tight call like that. Like when the guy's in form, we can all agree, get him in. If someone is putting their hand up, get him in. Like we've got a panel of probably 25 to 30 players.
Jeez, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah, and they're good. They are an honest bunch of lads.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of young lads onto this year now that we didn't have last year. One of them got hurt last night, of course.
When are you playing up? When are you in championship?
It's the week after the All-Ireland final. So whether Cork or Limerick are in it, maybe neither. But it's going to be the week after the All-Ireland final.
Okay. And the young fella that got injured then last night, what happened to him?
He ran into a big lad, and it happens. Hurt his shoulder, and he was disgusted with himself. He knew he tackled wrong, but he was in the hospital last night. He dealt with it. He's ready to do his rehab straight away. So it's good, all good.
It's like, and we'll get into this a little bit deeper in a minute now. But it's like you and I were talking before the podcast, and I was saying my club is Ballyclaw, and I didn't really play much, to be totally honest. Like in my 20s, I kind of came back to my 30s, but I was fucking fat and fond of the drink, and I was only kind of playing on the hope that a dream that would never come true to only be a dream. Like I would have no interest in doing the application stuff, like the turning up to go to the training. But like you have to be a bit tapped. Was what I was saying to you, to be young man.
Yeah.
And be all in. Like that young fella there now sounds like fellas that I played with when Ballyclaw were going well. They were tapped.
Yeah.
They trained, they got injured, and by Christ, I know a fella, he's on the podcast here, he won't mind me saying this, Peter, brilliant wing back for Ballyclaw. He used to hop into the river. He'd a bad hamstring one time, and for like 10 days before championship, he'd hop into the river at midnight. Himself and his girlfriend would go down into the Finau, into the river, and he'd be there bollocks naked, standing inside in the river, and apparently flowing water is good for
I've heard it.
for hamstrings, and he ended up playing in the North Cork final anyway. But that's tapped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, would the scientists agree with him?
I know, but sometimes, like, the mental game will get you through. Like,
yeah. Well, we were very lucky at the club in Newton Chandler when we were playing with great culture, and I'm also saying like the culture drops down, it doesn't feed up, and that we knew. Say when I was 17, coming into senior panel, that I have to do what they're doing, and if I don't do what they're doing, I'm not going to make it. So like we had great guys to look up to, and they were tapped, and so we followed on, and we all became kind of half tapped as well. And like I suppose the level of training we did was mental at times.
like you'd hear rumours about the Newtown boys, like. You'd hear, and I remember one match that I went to. I'll never forget it. By fucking hell, you were playing in Fermoy, I think, and it was Middleton, and it was in Championship. Don't ask me the year now, but it was. I think you went on to win the county one of these years anyway. And I went back there, and I was just home from London, and out of it. I was just out of it, and I forgot what Championship intensity was like. And I went with my father, and I had forgotten what I'll never forget. And I remember standing down by the line. And for my thing, they've got the kind of tiered seats at the side, and they've the old kind of net. And it was a big crowd at it. And I heard it might be Pat Mulcahy giving this roar, like as a ball went out over the line, right? And it was just a 50-50 ball, like a roar. Our fucking ball, that's our fucking ball. And I was like, fucking hell. But it was, Ben got sent off in this game, right?
Did he?
And or it might have been Jerry, it was Ben or Jerry, they looked alike.
They do. They do look alike.
And and you were down to 14 men, and you won the game after. And I remember just watching Newtown being fucking almost afraid, and I was like just watching the intensity that you had as a group. But you could tell, the amount of stuff that you won as a group, there's no way you're going to do that by training. Is probably harder than the matches.
Like there was regular where guys would just be on the ground getting sick. Like it was. I remember one day we were after a hard Sunday morning session now, and fast laps were. My father was training us. Fast laps were his thing. Like so, you'd start on the 65, go to 21, go to the square, out to 21, all the way around. So your aim was to do that in a minute. And like we're probably after doing 4 or 5 of these at this stage now. And I remember he said this was the last one. So all the last sprint heroes were out, but I took it on anyway. I was winning this particular one, but I felt that my belly was going like, and I was rounding the last corner. And I just stopped. I vomited, started getting sick. And I thought, fair enough, give my all here. Next thing I hear, John, don't stop. And he made me, all the way to the end, it was probably 60 metres, made me keep going, vomit flying out the side of my mouth. But he made me keep going. Like, and no, I didn't win it, but I finished it.
You finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't matter what was happening to your body, you were getting to the end line. Yeah, that's the fucking difference. Do you know? That is the difference, like that kind of madness that exists.
See some place now, like if you make someone get sick, their mom will be in, why'd you make my Johnny get sick? Like,
you're taking it too seriously. Yeah, that's serious, girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't win if you don't
sign them up for
if
soccer.
you don't get sick, you don't win.
Yeah, like there is a bit of that. All right, there is a bit of that, and like I know you do the under 10s, and I'm involved with the under 10s. Like this is where it starts, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'd say now, like I'm definitely too soft altogether. I'm too soft altogether. Like I'd be like asking lads how they are, how their feelings are and stuff like that, how you feeling today and stuff like that. But like I do think a bit of toughness as early as you possibly can, without obviously, you know, I wouldn't say bullying now, because like, do you know what I mean? But like gruffness.
I think we mix
it's hard to get the gruffness nowadays.
We mix it with the, like, I would say, like my young fella is under 10. So I want to make him as tough as I can, but also like that, not for them to look at me as he's some kind of a bully. Like,
How would you do that, John?
Like I think
but you're dead right though, because like the best hurlers are tough hurlers.
Yeah,
they're tough hurlers, and they're not afraid at all. And that's instilled at a young age.
We have to make them understand, right, that you can be a lovely boy off the field, but once you cross that whitewash, that you have to change. And you'll have mummies and daddies now saying, right, he's wrong. But they do. You have to, that killer instinct has to come out, that if someone's in front of my Johnny for the ball, that my Johnny's going to get to the ball before him and he'll figure out a way to get them. But it's gone to a stage where, like, we've great parents, in fairness, our group of great parents, but I've heard stories where it's all about their own kid. Mm-hmm. It can't be all about their own kid. Like, I hope anyway that I treat every kid there the same as I treat my own.
We have a fantastic coach now. Our Banish door now is amazing as well.
Yeah,
every single child gets attention, like, you know, and like even I'm only helping on myself and Claire, and there's one or two other lads that kind of come along, and we do what he says, but it's for the player like it's player welfare.
And just start to saying hello to them. Yeah. Do you know how was your day? Do you know, small thing.
Yeah.
And even after, there's a joke to be had after. There's a joke to be had during it, but when you're training, it's serious. And then, like, during your matches, some fella will do something good, some fella will do something silly, and like you react to these things. And when some fella does something silly, we laugh too. Like, it's not a case we bark, we laugh, but we are firm. We've rules. Like, if we have boys that are hitting people for no reason, they're put out. And there's different ways to approach it, but we feel that, you know, no nonsense while giving them a bit of freedom. And we have a good group. Like, Pat Mulcahy is involved with me. What we do is we have a manager and then coaches.
That's what we do now.
Our manager is brilliant. That he organises everything. I don't have to worry about organising a game. Nothing. He's brilliant. James Moore and we're lifelong friends.
Yeah.
But he's second to none. So when, instead of me ringing people looking for games for my under 10s, I'm at home planning my training sessions and maybe seeing, can we do something different? So that kind of helps us all develop as well. So it's a shared team effort. We're very lucky. We've got 6 guys involved. All of us have our own role within the group, and we work very well together.
Yeah. When I was growing up now, there was none of that shit.
Same, my father.
It was one lad in charge and maybe another selector, 2 if you were going well.
Yeah.
And it was backs and forwards, and if you didn't do something right, you were fucked out of it. You were fucked out of it in front of everyone.
Yeah, I remember that.
And eyes up to heaven anytime. And like that's just the way it. And I'm so happy that it isn't like that now.
But we've great stories out of that.
Great crack. And what it did do was, if you did stick with it, it gave you a bit of, like, I played with a lot of lads growing up, and some lads finished at under 12s and under 14s, and I played till under 21s really, and then after that I kind of faded, do you know? But the lads that played all the way up, all that shit stood to them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
nobody liked being told they're a disgrace to the jersey. We still remember it now. Like, there was another fella who will remain nameless, but he, not our group now, but a younger group, he often told him they put the curl in his shit. So I don't know what. It definitely one positive remark anyway.
No, I do think you're touching on something there now, right? Which I think is important, right? Like, I look back in the past with rose-tinted glasses, right? Like stories like that, and fucking, you know, managers not giving you a break, and fucking backs and forwards, and like, he's only getting on because of pull, and all, you know, all the old stories, right? And I do think it's better now, but there was a lot of crack that went involved with all that kind of stuff, do you know?
But we played football. I don't know if you know that, but we played football. We did.
Did you have a football team?
We were very successful football.
How the fuck did that? I never heard it. What was that? Junior?
Oh, it never got that old football. It was my father started it. Everyone would often say, oh, he'd burst every football. He started a football. But there was this man, John Geary, kind of took it over after my father. And he was a plumber, and a lot of parents didn't like going to football matches. So he'd roll up to the hall, open the back of the van, full of his plumbing stuff, and in we get. Nobody wanted to sit in the front. They ever wanted, and it was pitch black in the back, and you'd hope something would fall on someone and hurt them, and it wasn't you. But it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Great crack.
I've a fucking similar story. In 1973, Cortina, my friend Fergus Ahern's father, Donny, he'd hardly ever go to a game. And this one particular Wednesday, during the summer, we were playing a match back in Churchtown. Do you know when you're going over the bridge, the railway bridge there, right?
Yeah.
So we met in Fitz's, and what would happen is there'd only be 2 or 3. This is another thing as well. Nowadays, every parent goes to the matches.
Yeah.
When we were going to, my parents never went to a match unless it was a final. Do you know what I mean? And then even then, they'd just barely go, right? Different for you now. Your dad was involved. My dad was working. He was selling cars, and my mother we'd only one car in the house. So that was the way most of the houses were. There was one car. So I'd cycle to the village, go to Fitz's, meet all the players that be there. Back in the day, then it was no problem fielding a team. I remember when we were growing up, our under 12, 14, 16 and minor team, we had 22, 23 lads all going to school in Ballyclaw, and it's different now, And there was load, like in your case, there's 4 brothers played on your famous team, isn't there?
Yeah. Myself, Ben, Jury, Eamon came on in the county final in 2009 as well. Yeah, so 4 of us played together.
So 4 of you played together. And we the same in Ballyclaw. We'd the O'Shea's, we'd the McAulives, we'd the O'Neills, we'd the Flynns, and we'd all be over anyway, waiting, right? And Fergus's father collected us, but he'd never, he was a hard worker and he'd never get out. But he came down a bit early and went into Fitz's and had a couple of paddies, right? a couple of quick paddies, right? 2 or 3 paddies, and he didn't drink it all. Do you know what I mean? This is back now, simpler times. Myself anyway, and about 4 or 5 other lads were squashed into the back of this. And the lights were coming on at the railway track. The bridge wasn't coming down now, but the lights were coming on, and the thing was on, and he was like, he'll make it. He fucking put the foot down anyway, and we hit the thing, and Starsky and Hutch, the car went up fucking bang, bang, bang. And we'd still talk about that when we meet up to this day. But you would be fucked out of it if you did that nowadays. Imagine collecting some fella's young fella after, 3 or 4 pints, it was grand. I drove on anyway, sure, it was grand. You okay with that? You might sign that there. Do you know what I mean?
There's countless stories like that. Do you know, you can't just. It's hard to just think of one because there's so many.
They're brilliant stories.
Who needs a safety?
Yeah,
or seatbelts.
Seatbelts optional, you know, and not recommended really.
Because you'd fit more in.
Yeah, you'd fit more in, exactly. Wasting time. You need to save that energy for pucking some fella, you know. No, that segment now was supposed to last 2 minutes, right? Just so you know. All right, we're going to play a game now called Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. John O'Connor. Brilliant. Are you familiar with the game?
I am.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So hashtag stone circles.
Yeah.
Trending at the moment. Stone circles. Have you ever been to a stone circle?
Sure, aren't they everywhere?
They're kind of all over the place.
They're all over, yeah. I think there's one up the road. We look in. We don't go into the field because you don't go to farmers' fields anymore. But there's definitely one up there, a ring fort or something like that.
Remember the fairy forts years ago, and the trees that would grow in the fairy forts?
You wouldn't touch them.
You wouldn't touch them. I wouldn't touch one now. Genuinely, you wouldn't touch them. It apparently goes to there was a very controversial one.
The tree on the road, was it?
Up to Limerick. Was it the Limerick? Up to Ennis, up to Clare from Limerick.
They moved the road around it.
This is a modern first world country, and they just said, you're not going near that fairy tree. We'll put the... Well,
it's fine if you're the decision maker making a decision, but what if you're the fella with the machine that had to pull it out of the ground?
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't.
There's a storyteller called Eddie Lenihan from back in... Do you know Eddie?
Yeah.
He's back in Broadford.
He's Broadford,
Is he Broadford?
It's County Clare, doesn't it?
Is he?
Is Broadford County Clare?
I don't know. There's a weird part of he's not. Is he North Kerry or South? There's a part anyway where it's. I don't know. He might be a fairy himself anyway. But he's he has some of the stories he has are absolutely fucking amazing. And he's a full believer in the old fairy folk.
Would you believe in it?
I wouldn't disbelieve in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't write it off.
Well, I'd be waving at magpies, like.
Oh, I always say hello to magpies.
Yeah.
How are things, Mr. Magpie? Yeah. Keep him well.
So I don't know.
Bless myself when I pass the church.
I'd always bless myself passing the church. But
wear a scapular.
Yeah, there's. I couldn't say that.
Beads? Oh no, sorry, something else.
But I couldn't say that I'm a 100% believer in fairies.
Yeah.
But something that that has a bit of control over the nature or something like that. Yeah,
well, nature is really weird. Like I was going to the Cork Limerick match in earlier this year. Which one was it? Was it the championship? No, it was the league because we played them in Limerick.
Yeah.
And I went up the back roads, and outside one of the towns, myself and a buddy stopped off at this just unbelievable ring fort. And there was loads of crows and magpies flying around it. It was really eerie, But it's, I can't think of the name of it now. Kieran Carey was on the podcast a few weeks back, and he knew the name of it off the top of his head now. But it was a bit of a touristy site. But there was an energy. Yeah. There was definitely an energy there anyway.
But people will tell you, people will tell you that they feel stuff. I can't say I've ever felt something going into one of them now, but it all actually, not Stonehenge, but Newgrange and them, whatever about the spiritual side of it, but what they were actually able to do that time with the clocking the sun and that, I know, if it was up to the likes of me to be seeing that the sun was cyclical, that we'd still be sitting in the cave kind of waiting for, we'd be surprised every night when the sun goes down. I'd never, so it's amazing, they had no information, but they figure out, 1 day or 2 days a year we'll get the sun to shine down this. Yeah. It's kind of amazing.
And it's the shortest day of the year that it shines in there as well.
The shortest and longest.
And the longest it goes in there as well. And you have to do a lottery now to get in there. You can't just walk in there, and it was just found by accident. But there's all these lines, I was looking at this thing about these ancient civilizations and the pyramids. Do you know that Stonehenge, that Newgrange, the one that you were talking about there, is older than the pyramids in Giza?
That's it. So is that 5,000 BC? Or is it 250 BC?
I haven't
I don't know. You were listening to history. No. But anyway, tis old. Yeah. And
I just did it up as far as junior cert.
We didn't get to do it.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that, again, if it was the two of us sitting there, how far would we get along the line of tracking this?
Well, if we went back now in time, right, and evolution depended on me, right, we'd be fucking picking seeds out of our shit for protein for eternity.
But we'd be happy.
But we'd be very happy.
We'd be very happy.
We'd be still doing podcasts.
Grunting.
Hashtag supplements. Did you ever take supplements when you were playing hurling?
No. But
it's kind of a new thing as well.
I can see them everywhere now. I take it. I might take, if I'm feeling a bit groggy in the morning, Broca Boost.
Oh yeah, I've that at home as well.
Take two of them,
electrolytes and stuff like that.
Take two of them and bang, you're on the road.
Yeah.
But if you're to take everything that they're putting your way now, your bowl in the morning will be full of pills.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'd like to get my nutrition as much as I can from
food,
a hearty meal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting too much nutrition nearly at times.
What was your nutrition like when you were playing?
At times it was okay, but we were kind of a generation. We'd have a fierce hard training session and treat ourselves after going to the Hartigans in Charleville. That got fierce traffic from us at times. And didn't think how stupid it was, and it was stupid.
But you know what? Right, you're an Arsenal fan, okay, and. Do you remember when Wenger came in, right?
Yeah.
And the way the whole Premier League was, or the whole Division 1 Premier League was. Everyone was drinking pints and eating takeaways, right? And then Wenger came in and goes, no.
Yeah.
That's it.
He took their Mars bars,
Took it all off him, you know? There has to be someone to start the revolution. Do you know what I mean? And it's gone fucking too far now.
Well, do you know... The chubby fella has no hope now.
No hope. Well, he does. He was a chubby fella now. The old Manjaro, you know, injection into the hole once a week.
But to make the team,
to make the team, yeah.
To make the team.
There was always, sorry no, John, but anytime I saw a big fat number 14, I was like, I bet you that cunt is good. Do you know?
Yeah,
just hands.
Yeah,
And And violent. Hands and violent.
He'd have his back turned to goal, and he'll flick of the wrists.
Yeah. And like, there was now when push comes to shove, like as you go up the grade, there's no, not really, because you're not going to get anywhere with a bit of
chances are he doesn't have the fight.
Correct.
No, not the right fight. He'll fight his fingernails, but he won't fight to get himself fit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very, very true, actually. Yeah. The right fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fight's an inside fight, is it?
Yeah, sure. Look, it's like that's when it's the training where you find that out, I think, that when you're fucked, like you're really fucked and you have to keep going. That's the fight you want, not the fella that's going to turn around and flake someone. Like that's the fella who's giving up and looking for it. Yeah, it is. It actually is like, give me a fella that is quiet but will keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's worth much more to you.
That's so true. By the fight, that's so true, because it is the fight inside, and I see it all the time. That the lads that are successful are the lads that are fucking obsessed, and even though they're getting sick out of their mouth, they're still running that 60 yards to get over the line.
Once it's called moral courage. I thought it was a great way to put it. It was like they were always there, always turning up, always doing the right stuff. Like I thought it was a great way to put it. Like, who on your team in your pomp, how was moral courage? Could you give me an example of how moral, because you would have been in a lot of fucking battles, John, like a lot of, like guttural, animalistic, this is fucking, for the next 60 minutes here, this is absolute war. Who did you look at on your team when because I'd assume that you all had it. But there has to be that fucking leader. You have your leaders. And like,
no, your team was, to be fair now, for people who don't know, Newtown Chandram, it's a tiny village. You remind me of, you're the Castlehaven of hurling, or Newtown, or Castlehaven, vice versa. They're small little hamletly villages with desire and passion that you can't equate to anything else. And it formed some sort of a kind of a wall around you, like us against them.
But it even started off like we had two excellent goalkeepers. You had two goalkeepers fighting for position. You had Paul Morrissey and William Began, who's now a senior selector. But like, we watched them training. Like, we'd be doing our own, but we'd turn and we'd just see them. Maybe if we were having a break, we'd turn and watch them. They were going hell for leather at each other. Like, they'd be blowing balls at each other, and they'd come back. We never had to wonder, are the boys working hard? We knew that they were working hard, and they knew that we were above the other side of the pitch. We were breaking our bollocks, but it was never a question. And it started there. It started inside number one. Like, Paul Morrissey broke his teeth in training because he wouldn't pull his face out of the way. Then, like, you'd will.
Sorry, now.
Go on.
He wouldn't pull his face out of the way. He broke his teeth in training because he wouldn't pull his face. What happened?
He saved the ball
with his face.
More or less, yeah.
Was this in training? So it wasn't even a match.
And like,
fucking amazing.
And like,
that's amazing, John.
But every night we often fought with each other. Like, you ended up rolling around the ground.
I've seen that in our club. We had a small bit of it, but not a lot of it. But you'd always hear, like, Newtown.
We knew the nights where hurling was going well, it was right on the edge. Something could boil over very quick, because again, it came from backs and forwards, where as the forwards you'd hate losing and the backs would drive it onto you if they were winning. And like, if they'd win 2 or 3 or 4 balls in a row and they're in your ear, there was someone who's going to snap, like, brilliant. And often did.
Fucking brilliant.
Often did. And that happened more so when the inter-county scene was over and they were back with us.
Yeah.
When they came back to us, it just went to another level altogether.
Really?
Yeah. It was.
Why do you think that was the case?
Well, look, they're your best hurlers. But to get to inter-county level hurling, you have to be something special as a person. Like, you hear nowadays everyone ripping into these inter-county hurlers. But to get to that level of hurling, you have to be something special. You have to come through all the underage. You have to be the best of all the underage teams. You have to come through. You have to be really special, a special character. And so we had, at one stage, we had 5 of those characters coming back into us. Or was it 6? 5 or 6.
Pat Mull, Morrissey, your 2 brothers.
John Paul King and James Bowles.
I forgot about John. John Paul King was a great footballer as well.
He played with both of them, didn't he? Yeah. He married my sister after.
Did he?
Did.
I'm glad I fucking didn't say anything bad about him. Have they any children?
The 2 girls, Anna and Eva.
Well, the genetics are there anyway.
Yeah.
Wild. Are they wild? But sure, look, my young fella, my hunter now is wild as well, and I think that's good.
Yeah,
I think that's good. Is. Leave them be wild and put them into something that they can be wild in.
Express their wildness.
So the heat, would you say that contributed directly to your success? So
definitely, definitely. We knew when things were going well. That the vibe was there. Pat Mulcahy always talks about it. He knew when we were going to play well.
Yeah,
he knew it.
He was a captain for. He captained you once or twice.
Pat was the captain.
Was he the captain?
He was the captain. With captains, and he was the captain.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it because I wasn't there. But he did look like the player's captain. Even if he wasn't the official captain. Do you know what I mean?
Like he'd pull fellas aside, say the right thing at the right time.
Yeah,
he was brilliant at that.
Yeah, unbelievable hurler as well.
Always led. Always.
Yeah.
If Pat was beaten, that. It was beaten by a better player on a day. It wasn't because he wasn't giving the effort or putting his body on the line. He was excellent.
Yeah. Jesus, you were blessed really when I think of it. I mean, like the goalkeeping position nowadays is probably nearly one of, if not the most important position on the pitch. But it was always a very integral part to hurling, especially puckouts. And the way ye played, puckouts were...
Yeah, I think William Began took puckouts to another level again. Then, he was he's inside with Cork at the moment, and he's taking training sessions there. To another level. But I think he was one of the real first goalkeepers that were picking their short puckouts, their mid puckouts, their long puckouts. He had them all.
Because I want to talk about that later in the game. Because I think he changed the game. I think Newtown Chandram changed the way hurling was played in Ireland for a period of time. Now, it always evolves, and it's different now from what it was 20 years ago or 15 years ago or however long we're talking. But it's Jesus. So, and then you'd Pat then centre half back, and
you'd
Jerry midfield, and Ben and John Paul are in the forwards.
Yeah, but you also had fellas that wouldn't be household names, like Brendan Mulcahy at full back. We were playing, and I've often spoken to Reds O'Grady about this. We played a Munster club semi-final above in the park one day. We were down 7-0, and Redzer was doing wreck. Do you remember Redzer?
I don't. I'm be honest.
He played with Tipperary as well.
Yeah,
but Redzer was doing wreck. Down 7-0. We were under pressure, but Redzer miraculously hit the ground. And nobody saw anything. The television cameras saw nothing. Nobody saw nothing. It's never been
confirmed.
Never been confirmed. Brendan denies everything. But when Redzer came back in the field, it was 7-7, and we drove on. We won the game. But it was again.
Were you proponents of the dark arts?
With some tough men.
Yeah.
With some tough men. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been tougher. Maybe that maybe dish out the dark arts rather than. Reacting to it, but we had plenty of fellas who were well able. I know when I started playing, nobody could look at me without Declan Murphy coming in and hitting my belt. That was with every young fella. He'd be just looking after young fellas, and that wasn't just him. There was other guys, but right, if some fella banged off you, Declan was in. He was straight in, and he left a mark on some fella.
Jesus, that. But as a as a corner forward or a wing forward or a cornerback or probably just a cornerback at that stage, a young fella coming in there, knowing that some fella is going to fucking make sure that if someone hits you, they're not going to hit you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's a solace in that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But there's also a fucking craziness in it as well. Which
but if you knew Declan Murphy, you'd understand.
Yeah. Well, I don't ever want to meet him. Yeah. I definitely don't want to mark him.
Lovely man.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure. But sure, as you said, you cross over the white line, you have to change for 60 minutes.
Absolutely.
You have to become something different.
And you can still be the nice person after.
Yeah.
And I think genuine hurling people understand, I'm going to get a bang here and I might give out a bang, but we can shake hands off the field after. It's no problem there.
And I see it a lot with you see it in podcasts all the time now, lads that were fucking, choking each other 15 years ago or drinking pints now and talking about the good old days,
And I think you have to move on from it. This crack of people hate, the local rivalries, they're great, but I don't like the hatred that comes with it. I suppose my father wasn't a Newtown man as such, so we were never told you have to hit this crowd, you have to hit that crowd.
That would have been an advantage, actually. You'd imagine, though. No, but like genuinely, because he like if your dad was from Duhallow, Wheeling.
Yeah.
So when he's coming, first of all, that's in a different province. That's in Duhallow. So coming into Avondhu, so you don't have the. He'd like. I'm sure if they were playing Fremont, he'd have fucking something to say.
I probably would.
Do you know what I mean?
Tullylease,
yeah.
Yeah, but I know. Don't get me wrong. He'd have driven us, but I don't ever remember the hate, and I don't know. I think your head can stay more focused without the hate. Sometimes if it's hate, you're ready. You just want to go and hit someone. Like,
yeah, it's true. Like, I mean, if the hate is the overriding emotion, then you're not. You're what you need to be focused on is the game that's in front of you, not your hatred for the fella because he lives in a fucking different postcode.
Like you run past him, all you're thinking, oh, I've beat him.
Yeah,
there might be another fella to beat in front of you. Like,
precisely. Yeah, and people can. And I see it again, like, and I remember, like, I'd be in dressing rooms going, they fucking hate you, lads. Like, you know, you'd be trying to rile lads up, but like, I suppose in hindsight,
nowadays I think it's more about getting your performance right.
Yeah.
Like, rather than the big rile up, that it's a case of making sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. And all right, there will be elements of
skullduggery as well.
Yeah. But keep it as level a keel as you can, because you don't want fellas getting carried away.
Hashtag All Ireland semi-finals. So we've the two. When this comes out, this will come out next week. So this is just kind of like a preview, kind of a guessing game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're predicting. For those of you who don't know, John's brother Ben is the Cork manager, Ben O'Connor, Cork senior hurling manager. So John's going to call out the team there now.
Yeah. I'm not Mark Landers at all.
But how do you think? Well, let's start with Cork and Galway. All right, let's start with that. How do you think we are fixed?
I think we're in a good place. Like, we've got fellas fighting for places with what you want, and we're further down the line than what Galway are too, which is it's massive. Like, and people can say what they want about Cork losing finals, but we win semi-finals too, though. So I think if both teams deliver their best performance, that I think we're further down the line and our best performance is better than their best performance. Now, Galway aren't sitting at home just planning their best performance. They're also planning and limiting us, so we can't have our best performance. But I'd be hopeful that we'd have enough to get over the line.
There's definitely a few question marks. I was at the Offaly game there now, and I thought Alan Walsh was incredible. And I was like, why the fuck is he dropping Buckley? And then Alan Walsh comes on, gets 2-1.
Yeah.
And I saw him against Kilkenny earlier in the year, and he got 1-1, I think, in that game down in Nolan Park. And I love that. Yeah. And I've like, you'd be hearing rumours from all over the place. And like, your man's flying in training, and like, you know, and as you said at the start, whoever's going well in training. And Ben did say that. He always said that at the start. Yeah. Whoever's going well, they'll get the nod. But I love that. We're still, and we're still guessing at our 15 because there's competition for players and for places.
You can imagine the likes of Alan Walsh now, that first year on a panel, and there's something different about him. He has. See
the way he celebrated the goal. I tell you now, right? You're dead. Sorry now for cutting across you, because I actually agree. He celebrated the goal, and I was like, how? He was just like, he did something like that, and I was like, that's a man that is confident. That's a man that is fucking confident, because he came into the team there. Would have been a bit of pressure on him. Yeah. Like, Buckley's gone for, in my opinion, William Buckley's gone for young hurler of the year. Like, his form has been incredible, you know. And I was like, okay, he's, you know, making a few changes. Hugh O'Connor's coming on, who was also brilliant on the same day. And I was like, he's like, you know, this is great. But now I'm kind of going, fucking hell, how would you leave Alan Walsh out?
Yeah.
Do you know, which is amazing.
That's the way you want it.
It is.
You want to have multiple fellas upset that they're not playing.
Yeah.
And for him, I just think he has that X factor. Like, he's so unpredictable.
What an option to have.
He's so big.
Yeah.
But those watches, in fairness, they're a great family.
Yeah.
That, like, you have Paul playing the football, he's playing the hurling, Tommy playing the football. Aidan had his All Ireland earlier in the year.
And he won one with Cork football in 2010 as well.
They're fantastic.
He was on that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's very exciting this year. I've gone to a good few of the matches, and I'm really enjoying it. I wouldn't say I enjoyed the Munster final, result, but I would say I I wasn't unenthusiastic coming away from the game. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah, it's. I think you see signs every day. There's positive to take from every game, and there's definitely positive to take from that. Like you'd be hoping from here on that you'll have good conditions, and it's not depending on how much you can score in one half to hold out for the second half. That you want a good lively game where it's tit for tat both sides, and even the best teams win. And if the best team is Cork, great. If not, so be it.
Yeah, nobody died. Nobody died. And do you know what? I was looking at a few stats for the match, right? A few interesting stats. The last 5 championship matches we've played Galway, we've lost.
Have we?
We have lost the last 5 championship matches to Galway.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Very interesting.
And they'll be bullying too. It's bonus territory for them.
It is. Yeah. And I'm always the fucking pessimist. Like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, no one's talking them up. They've won Leinster. They were impressive against Dublin.
They were good the night we played them in the league.
Oh, in Galway.
Yeah. They had cornerbacks in the half forward line receiving balls. They were carefree. They took off. Very hard to stay up with guys who are fit and strong and can hurl. And they can score from outside. And Rabbit inside is fucking he's got a paw on him. We were talking about paws there earlier on. Yeah. Like there's like if I was putting my €100 on it, I would be putting it on Cork. Right? I think 95% of Ireland would be the same way. But I would be always trepidatious, Well, that's a fair stat that we've lost the last 5. Yeah.
I had to go back, and then I was listening to a podcast afterwards, the Irish Times podcast or the Indo Sport podcast, and they brought it up. So I was like, oh well, I've read it now, and they've confirmed it. 5, very.
But I suppose this group or even the Galway's group,
but they haven't met that often either.
Yeah, but they don't. They're not bringing these things up. They don't care about what the last Cork team that beat them or the last Galway team that beat them. They don't care about those things. They care about now and being right now. Yeah. They're so, and it's a great thing that they're so in their bubble that they only care what's happening in their group.
Yeah,
it's great.
I think that is very true now as well. But I suppose it's hard to keep the noise out. But that's the job inside in the camp to try and make sure that this place is an oasis again for you lads. Clare and Limerick.
It's hard to see anything other than Limerick.
Yeah,
very hard. Limerick's injuries in the wrong places as well. I can't see any other result. And people will say, "Oh, it happened against Dublin last year." That's different. And Dublin will open Limerick's eyes. They'll know that, especially with Caroline Curry back on board, that they'll know.
She's a game changer.
She is, yeah. Whatever she's doing. We had her for it's just a workshop in Newtown, going back 2 years ago now, to the favour to someone because you couldn't afford her.
What's her title? Is it a psychologist? Is it?
I don't know, to be honest. Is she a sports psychologist?
Is she a sports psychologist?
Yeah, I don't know. But like any sports psychologist, there's nothing any of them will ever say that you'll say, oh, wow, that's amazing. But it's just the process they put things into. And like we'll say, if someone gets sent off, she puts her arm around them, she brings them back into the group, and she treats them like they're kids nearly.
Yeah.
And helps them recover from it.
Yeah.
It's like sports psychology it's amazing. You could talk all day about it, and she's just a master of it.
Yeah. The course she did with she back in, was there anything that stood out?
Like that, there's nothing that you'd say, "Whoa, that's amazing," but just I think buy-in is one of the things she was talking about. She said buy-in, getting buy-in from everyone, no matter what you're doing, having buy-in. So I don't know what they'd be doing, but like if you've one person that resists and resists and resists, that eats into the group, and that person is always a voice in someone else's ear, pulling them back. So it's getting buy-in, and if you've buy-in in anything, that we're always told it doesn't matter if we're going the wrong way as long as we're all going together, and. It's true, like.
Well, it's easier to row downstream if you're all fucking rowing the same way as well. You'll go a lot faster, than trying to go back up the fucking stream. So back to Limerick, and Caroline is definitely getting a lot of credit, and it's hard to see. Like Limerick they're the big green giant in the distance. They're the All Ireland favourites.
Yeah. They are rightly so.
I suppose so. If you look at just the results this year, they've won the league, they've won the Munster, albeit both occasions I felt that there wasn't a puck of a ball between us. But they are rightly, I suppose, All-Ireland favourites, and I think they're hurt as well. Like, they haven't been at the big table now for 2 seasons.
It's a long time for them to be away.
And John, if they don't get there this year, I'm sorry now, Limerick fans, and I don't mean to be at you, okay? But if you don't do it this year, you'll have to shut up for a while. Do you know what I mean? Small bit of shush, as Buff would say.
Do you think?
It won't happen, John. It won't happen. But I do fancy them to do it. I do fancy them to be clear.
Yeah.
I would never back against Cork.
No,
I wouldn't
yeah.
Even though the business head now would say they're favourites for the All-Ireland, but we're not in the All-Ireland yet.
Yeah.
And when we are, then
it's a million miles away right now.
Correct.
A million miles away. And
we might can get there.
And you know yourself, you've Egypt to get carried away, but you've Egypt get carried away in Limerick and Clare and Kerry
and Cork.
Sure,
fella got a tattoo last year.
Yeah, fucking Egypt, like.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
No, I got laser tattoo removal. But he got a tattoo going, All-Ireland champions 2026.
But a fella like that is doing it for attention. Like, if he's going to get a tattoo, how would it end up in the paper? Like,
exactly.
He was doing it for attention.
Yeah.
I think, again, I come back, genuine supporters in any county, you could have a conversation with.
You can.
Like the likes of him, I couldn't class him as a genuine Cork supporter. Whereas, like, I'd be happy for the genuine supporters of Tipperary last year. It was tough to take. I was happy for genuine supporters.
I'll tell you a good story about that match. So I brought my son there, right? And it was his first All-Ireland, Harvey. And do you ever see the ads on the television, Shawnee the Slitter, the Slitter I do the voiceover for that, right? So I'm the voice of Shawnee the Slitter on the Centra ads, right? And Centra gave me 2 tickets for the All-Ireland final, right? So I was able to bring Harvey, and we sat down anyway. But the tickets they gave me were right smack bang in the middle of the Tipperary crowd, right? And absolutely. So as we know, in the first half, we went up 6 points, and we were roaring on the boys, roaring them on, but very respectful to the people. That there was a woman and a son sitting, and she had a son around Harvey's age sitting beside us, and thanks be to God, we did. We were just like clapping on and not rubbing it in the nose, because then in the second half, whatever happened in the second half. But my young fella Harry wasn't able to take it. He wasn't able to take, like, he's autistic, and he just couldn't take the defeat, and he started crying. And his grandmother, my mother's from Tipperary, so he was like, "Oh my God, I've got blue socks. Maybe I'll go for Tipperary." And he started shouting for Tipperary for the thing. And God love us, the woman who was beside us from Tipperary, she was so nice and sound to him. And they were all jumping through the play, like they were delighted to be winning. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought it was very funny. But they were just lovely, hurling people. Yeah. And they weren't there to rub it in our faces.
The woman beside me, she could see that I was with my eldest John. And she could see we were deflated, and we waited for the presentation, and we clapped them, and we turned to go, but she put out her hand and just said, "Keep the head up, lads." And just as nice.
Yeah. That's all you have to do.
Genuine hurling supporters, you can talk to them all day long.
Yeah, keep the head up. Yeah. Simple, straightforward, and from the heart.
Yeah. John,
will you say Cork and Limerick?
I think so.
I think so too.
I do think so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a few podcasts. There's a few people saying Galway are going to catch us. There's a few people saying Clare, they're there on the last march. A lot of, lads have done a lot of soldiering with them. They're mid-30s, and it possibly is the end of the road for a lot of them. Have they got one more bite? Wouldn't write them off either. Wouldn't write any of the 4 teams to come off, but I think Cork and Limerick.
Yeah. I think we've the tougher game.
I think so too.
I think we've a tougher game. Galway are coming force with great manager like Micheál Donoghue has shown he can do it. So I think that's a really tough game. But I think we're just further down the road. Hopefully that we'd have learned lessons from the last couple of years and can get back there. And if you're back there, you have a chance.
Yeah. Okay, that concludes Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. And now we're into the podcast, John. John, what are you like? What do you like, boy? What do you like deep down inside? Who are you?
Yeah.
If you had to stand before your maker and say, "I'm John O'Connor, I am," what are you? Who are you?
It's just funny like this.